A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a recent outburst on his social media platform, Truth Social, former President Donald Trump has once again targeted major broadcast networks, this time focusing on ABC and NBC. Trump, who has a long history of contentious relationships with the media, expressed his frustration over what he perceives as unfair coverage, calling for both networks to lose their licenses and pay hefty fees for their use of airwaves. His post, filled with strong language and accusations, has reignited discussions about media bias and the role of the Federal Communications Commission, FCC, in regulating broadcast content. In a late-night post, Trump stated, "Why is it that ABC and NBC fake news, two of the absolute worst and most biased networks anywhere in the world, aren't paying millions of dollars a year in license fees? They should lose their licenses for their unfair coverage of Republicans and/or conservatives. But at a minimum, they should pay up big for having the privilege of using the most valuable airwaves anywhere at any time. Crooked journalism should not be rewarded. It should be terminated." The post reflects Trump's ongoing grievances with the media, especially when it comes to coverage of his presidency and political endeavors. This is not the first time Trump has threatened to revoke broadcast licenses, a move that raises questions about the First Amendment and the independence of the press. During his first term, he suggested that NBC should lose its license, prompting a response from Ajit Pai, the FCC chair appointed by Trump, who clarified that the agency does not have the authority to revoke licenses based on content. The FCC's role is to license individual stations, not entire networks, and its authority over news content is limited. Brendan Carr, the current FCC chair who was also appointed by Trump, has recently revived concerns about media bias, particularly targeting CBS for its editing of an interview with Vice President Kamala Harris. He has emphasized the importance of diversity in programming and has called for measures to address perceived bias in the media. However, the FCC's ability to enforce such measures remains constrained by legal limitations. In his latest tirade, Trump did not specify the exact coverage that sparked his outrage, but it appears to be linked to comments made by ABC News commentator Chris Christie, a former ally turned critic. Trump accused the networks of being biased and acting as an extension of the Democratic Party, stating, "If that is the case, they are simply an arm of the Democrat Party and should, according to many, have their licenses revoked by the FCC. I would be totally in favor of that because they are so biased and untruthful, an actual threat to our democracy." This statement underscores Trump's belief that media coverage is not just a matter of opinion, but a direct threat to the democratic process. The former president's comments have also drawn attention to the broader issue of media funding and regulation. The FCC collects regulatory fees from broadcasters to cover its operational costs, which totaled $390.1 million for the fiscal year 2025, with approximately $51.2 million coming from broadcasters. While the idea of charging broadcasters for the use of public spectrum is not new, it has gained traction in recent discussions about media bias and accountability. Elon Musk, the CEO of Tesla and SpaceX, also weighed in on the matter last year, suggesting that legacy broadcast networks should not receive free access to public spectrum if they are perceived to act in a politically biased manner. Musk's comments reflect a growing sentiment among some public figures that media organizations should be held accountable for their content and its impact on the political landscape. Trump's latest comments come on the heels of a $16 million settlement he received from CBS over a lawsuit he described as meritless. This settlement was reached just weeks before the FCC approved a significant merger involving CBS's parent company, raising questions about the relationship between media companies and political figures. In addition to his criticisms of ABC and NBC, Trump took aim at Chris Christie during his online rants, referencing the Bridgegate scandal and questioning Christie's integrity. He remarked on Christie's appearance during an interview on ABC, stating, "It's amazing what bad ratings, on a failed television show that was forced to pay me $16 million, can do to one's appearance." This comment highlights Trump's tendency to personalize his attacks, often targeting individuals rather than addressing broader issues. Christie, in his appearance on ABC's This Week, responded to Trump's criticisms, pointing out the inconsistency in Trump's handling of classified information and investigations. He emphasized the importance of maintaining a separation between political leadership and criminal investigations, a principle that Trump appears to disregard. As the debate over media bias and accountability continues, Trump's latest outburst serves as a reminder of the contentious relationship between politicians and the press. The implications of his statements on media regulation and the potential for censorship raise important questions about the future of journalism in America. As the landscape of media continues to evolve, the need for a free and independent press remains crucial to the functioning of democracy. Trump's call for action against ABC and NBC may resonate with some of his supporters, but it also raises alarms about the potential consequences for press freedom and the role of the media in holding power to account. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.